Now that may sound pretty strange. In fact, in many organizations, hackers are looked at as people that have to be stopped. But if you think about it, some of the best hackers aren't necessarily the ones who break into systems and cause damage. In this video, we'll talk about why managers should think more like hackers and how they can do so. If you find value in today's message, please share for others to benefit as well. Let's get started. Great hackers possess 4 distinct characteristics that make them so good at what they do. Number 1 is that great hackers are creative. Creativity is essential to good hacking. You have to be able to think outside the box in order to come up with new and innovative ways to solve problems or to attack a problem from different angles. This is because most systems are built with a central purpose in mind. And if you know the purpose of the system and how it works, then it becomes much easier to figure out where the weak points might be. This is true in the business world as well. Processes and systems are created for a central purpose and understanding. How those processes work will help you find efficiencies or areas for improvement. Great hackers spend countless hours studying their target before an attack. They research everything they can about the target, including their employees, their routines. With all of this information, they can develop a plan that will allow them to avoid detection and achieve their objective. Similarly, great managers should spend time researching their organization, their industry, and their competitors. By understanding the organization's strengths and weaknesses, as well as the competitive landscape, managers can develop strategies that will help their organization succeed. Which leads us to number 2, which is that great hackers are imaginative. Imagination is the ability to form mental images of things that are not present to the senses. It has the ability to think about things in a way that goes beyond what is known or experienced. The best hackers use their imagination to come up with new and innovative ways to attack a system. By doing so, they're able to identify all possible weaknesses that could be exploited. In order to come up with new ideas and solutions, you need to be able to imagine new possibilities and think outside the box. Imagination is what allows you to see beyond the obvious and to come up with creative solutions to complex problems. By listening to other people and considering their points of view, managers can expand their own thinking and come up with new ideas that they may not have thought of otherwise. By creating a safe environment where people are not afraid to take risks, managers can help their employees to be more imaginative. Finally, managers should also lead by example and don't punish people when they fail. Instead, focus on the lessons that can be learned from the experience. When people feel comfortable taking risks, they'll be more likely to come up with new ideas and solutions. The ability to persist is what separates the great hackers from the mediocre ones. Persistence is what allows them to keep trying, even when they've been unsuccessful. Over time, their persistence pays off, and they are able to successfully hack the system. The same thing is true in business. Managers need to be persistent in their efforts to improve their organization. Persistence is what allows you to learn from your mistakes and to keep moving forward. One way that managers can develop persistence is by setting clear goals for themselves and their organization. When you have a goal to strive for, another thing that managers can do is to celebrate their successes along the way. By taking the time to appreciate the successes, no matter how small they may seem, you'll be able to stay motivated and focused on your goals. Finally, managers should also remember that persistence is a learned behavior. So don't get discouraged if you don't see results immediately. Just keep at it, and eventually you will develop the necessary skills. Now, the final quality that great hackers have is that they're always learning. In order to stay ahead of the game, hackers must constantly be learning new things. The same is true in business. The business landscape is constantly changing and evolving. One way that managers can stay ahead of the curve is by keeping up with industry trends and developments. This can be done by reading books and articles, attending conferences, and networking with other professionals in your field. Another thing that managers can do is to encourage a culture of learning in their organization. Encouraging employees to share their knowledge with each other and rewarding employees for their learning and development. If you want your employees to be lifelong learners, then you need to model that behavior yourself. Be seen reading books and articles, attending conferences, and participating in training and development opportunities. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with the position, and the stakes are high. The good news is that you wouldn't have to be perfect in order to be a great manager. By focusing on developing the right mindset, you can set your team up for success. So if you want to be a better manager, think more like a hacker. One of the biggest problems that managers face today is that they often not aligned with their teams. Managers end up spending more time fighting fires and less time on strategic work. Employees end up feeling stressed and burnt out, and the organization ends up suffering as a result. But it doesn't have to be this way. Instead of thinking of managers as distant authority figures, we can start thinking of them as coaches, and they're there to help the players succeed. That's what we need from our managers as well. We need them to be there to help us succeed, both personally and professionally. We need them to provide us with the guidance, support, and feedback we need to do our jobs effectively. If you enjoyed this content, please share for others to benefit as well. Also, let us know in the comments below what other topics you would like us to cover in the future. See you next time.